Solid principle. Explain the solid principle in context of test automation. Guys, you know what? Whenever you are basically creating an automation, right? You are basically creating an API automation. You are going to create a web automation in the future, right? These are the principles that you are basically going to learn and you are going to use into your API or web automation. So let's understand the solid principles in context with the test automation. I will try to give the answers in a very, very simple way. And I will try to basically relate this with the automation framework that we have created in Rest Assured series, as well as in the Selenium series, 30 days of series that you guys have seen, right? Go and watch if you have not done it. Okay. And guys, one of the important thing is this principle are very, very, very important. Okay. So make sure you are watching this video completely and watch like 2 times. I think this is very, very important. Okay. So let's get started. Okay. So first of all, you should know who introduced this solid principle. Pramod, what exactly this solid means, right? It was introduced by the Robert C. Martin in 2000, right? They are not 100% applicable mostly into the text automation, but again, they are very, very relatable, to be honest, right? Again, they are principle, not the rules. So rules basically means you have to follow. But again, in this case, these are principle, they are good to have. So what are the advantages these solid principle provides, right? All the things, for example, that you can basically see, whatever the API automation and web automation that you are going to write, if you follow these solid principles, then it is expected that, okay, you have written a well-managed code. It will help you in maintainability, reusability, and multiple things. Okay. So let's see the first one, which is S. S stand for the single responsibility principle. What exactly it is? Let's get started. Okay. First of all, it basically states that the class or a module, right, should have only one reason to change, meaning that it should have only one responsibility. Okay. It is very similar to that. Okay. Everyone should have a single responsibility, right? Every class or module that you are going to create into the automation, right, they will have their own only single responsibility, right? In context to page object, right? Whenever we are creating in Selenium, if you remember, right, we have created a page object pattern, right? In context to that, you are actually using the SRP, which is single responsibility principle, right? You have already used it. For example, if you remember, we have created a Chrome driver class, we have created a Firefox driver class, we have created a Safari driver class. All of them have a single responsibility according to that, right? Chrome has only responsibility related to Chrome. If you are using Firefox, only responsibility related to Firefox. If they are using the Safari, then they have only responsibility related to the Safari, right? So that's the thing. Another important thing, if you remember, every page file, for example, suppose we have login page and dashboard page, 2 pages that we have, right? So login page class that you're going to create, right, it has only single responsibility that it should have only page locators and page options related to login page only, single responsibility. Okay. Dashboard page will have only their page locators and page action only related to the dashboard, right? So no interchanging, no different things in this case. Okay. So login will have login related things, dashboard will have dashboard related things, support page will have support related things, right? Simple example, let me share with you. Okay. For example, at a method level, suppose if you take this example, right? See, we have a user account, which basically talks about username and email. If this is a parameterized constructor that we have added, all the things related to this here in this class are related to user, right? Not anything else. So single responsibility is added to this class. The only responsibility of this class is basically help you to verify your email, verify your username. That's it. That's it in this case, right? So what is the advantage that you will get? You will get improve maintainability, reduce the complexity, enhance the testability. You can test it because only single class is responsible for single activities, right? It will promote the separation. It will improve your reusability. Very, very important in this case, right? I hope you now understood. And if you want to give the example in interview, somebody ask you how you have implemented this, different Chrome browser, Safari browser and all, right? All these are basically same as the single responsibility, as well as different page object or page classes that we have created are nothing but single responsibility that we have created, right? Yes or no? Same simple example. Let's see the second one, which is my favorite. Which one is open close principle? What exactly it means, Pramod? Open close principle. Okay, simple. It is very simple. It actually states that the software entity basically means classes, modules, or the function that you are going to create in your API automation, right? Which should be open for extension but close for modification. It is very simple. Let me tell you, which basically means that you should be able to add a new functionality without changing the existing ones, right? For example, if I have a old MP3 player, right? This is my old MP3 player class that I have, right? If there is a new one which is coming, right? So what you can do is you can extend this old one which supports the MP4, right? But don't change this old one. This is what the open close principle says that, right? We should be able to add a new functionality by basically adding a new thing, but without changing the code. So if you want to basically extend the functionality of this which supports MP3. Now we have to support MP4, right? How you can do it? By basically you will encourage a interface, right? Or the classes you can say you will extend this and you will add more functionality to this, right? So simple example will be here. We have a rectangle class, right? In this case, we have circle class. So we are calculating the area. In this case, what we have done is instead of this, we will basically create a shape. Now, if you add new shapes, for example, you can add circle, you can add rectangle, you can add as much as a shape you can. So new things you can create more, but don't touch the old things, right? This is what the open close principle says that. So in this case, if you say without OCP, right? If you want to enter, if you want to add a new shape, in this case, for example, if we have rectangular circle, right? And we want to calculate the area, this is without the OCP. But if you want to add the OCP here, in this case, if you notice, you can add as much as you can. For example, you can add rectangle, circle, triangle, you can add anything by without basically changing the previous functionality, right? So if you want to add a triangle, see, if you want to add a new shape, you just need to basically implement the previous interface, right? So ideally in the ideal world, you have seen this multiple times, right? We always create a base test we have created, and then the new functionality that we want to add additional functionality, which is login test, right? So base test, all the things, right? You will not modify the base test. What you will do, you will extend this, they will basically add, you will extend the login test, and this will basically do the rest of the things for you, right? So you will basically, you can add as much pages as you can. The base functionality will follow the open close principle. So which means it will be open. It will basically here, if you notice, right? It is basically like you should be able to add a new functionality without changing the existing code. So we are not changing the code in the base. Only what we are doing is you need to add or implement this in the login phase, and you can do this, right? I know it's a little difficult to understand first time, but if you see this example, right? This one, I think in automation, we use OCP many times. Whenever you create a base test and then there is a login test, right? And basically login test implements base test, it basically means the same, or it will extend it. It basically means the same, which is you are not modifying your base test, but you are modifying your login test. You can add new functionality without the modification in the base test. That's what it is, right? OCP principle will be achieved through the techniques such as inheritance, compositions, basically adding a new things, and dependency injection. There are multiple ways to do it. I have showcased you through the inheritance in this case. Okay, so that's all about it. I think those two principles, I hope now you are able to understand. Rest of the three we'll cover in the upcoming videos. Again, guys, if you're liking these kind of videos where I'm basically explaining all the principles and everything related to test automation in a very easy language, right? Please give a like, and Job Ready Automation Tester is already starting. Please make sure you check out the link description in the below. Right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.